Welcome back to more Dragon Age Origins. I'm Negative Zero. Thank you for watching. I hope you're doing all right. Well, we're here with Callian in camp before we officially start what's basically the rest of the game. We're here at camp. Oh, enchantment. We do need to talk to those guys, but I was looking at these. I think we might go to Red Cliff first. We'll see. But before we do any of that, this is one of those points in these BioWare games where you have to talk to everybody.
What do you need?
Let's talk about Duncan.
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
That doesn't mean I don't mourn his loss.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the blight and everything. I'm sorry.
No harm done.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
What about the other Grey Wardens?
I don't know. I have no idea what the Grey Wardens do for when they fall in battle. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just...
Yeah, oh yeah, let's see. We can't actually talk about our fiance that was killed right in front of us, but let's go with 2.
Yes, I suppose you must have. I can't even imagine, really. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
He was a friend of mine too.
That's good to hear.
I mean, he did save us from certain death. I think that qualifies as friendship. Let's go talk to our dog. I don't know.
Oh, why, you little...
What?
Your furry friend here took offense at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Good boy. Teach that silly Alistair a lesson.
Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. That didn't get us...
I once heard a really old legend about how the hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
No, he only...
Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
What is going on here? Let's go with 2. If you've had it and didn't know it, it was probably tasty. Alright, let's move on. Let's go talk to Leliana. We need to get her some armor quick.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
Wow, it almost sounds a little bit like our vision, our dream that we just had with the archdemon. So you dreamed of the blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
Indeed. And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
I suppose I couldn't sit by either. Remember, we have these conversations to sort of gain influence with them. I don't know if there's a way to track it exactly like what the number is, but... And I know giving them gifts helps as well, but I forget what the end game with it is. Anyway, I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
And we did get a little bit of approval, +2. I don't know, and I don't know how high it goes either. Here's Sten. He looks magnificent. I love the mod.
Why are we stopping?
Oh, he looks so great. I think we should talk for a moment.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
It's in such a rush. Are you all right? You were in that cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
I've never seen a Qunari before. Tell me about your people.
No.
Why not?
People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
Okay. You said you were in the army.
I am.
Have you ever fought in a war?
I have always fought in war, elf.
What do you mean?
My people have been at war since the moment we set foot in the Northern Islands.
I completely forget the entire Qunari thing. It comes into play, obviously, in Inquisition. Maybe in Dragon Age 2? Like I said, I don't remember. And I forget where they're from. So I basically forget everything. I'd love to know more. So the Qunari didn't come from the islands?
We do now.
Where did you come from before?
Somewhere else.
Sten! Are you always this bad about answering questions?
Generally. I do not see how this matters. Seheron and Parvolan are distant. Ferelden and the Darkspawn are immediate.
I'm just trying to learn a little bit more about the world. What's your hurry?
What a strange language you speak. You say hurry where I would say duty.
It's not your duty to handle the blight, though.
No, it is yours, and you are chatting with me instead.
Such disapproval. Why did you offer to help me?
For the moment, you are the enemy of my enemy.
The Darkspawn are your enemy?
They have no more allies than a hurricane or an earthquake. They are enemies to all.
Let's go.
As you wish.
We got a little bit of approval. Where's Morrigan? Oh, back here.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Did you grow up in the Qunari wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You could if you wanted to.
Oh, what luck. What is it you asked, if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remain unnoticed?
For the most part. Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring, it sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
I have no idea. I'm not human.
Do not speak to me of trivialities. Your culture is not so entirely different. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Yet here you are.
Yes, here I am. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Indeed. Oh, a little bit of approval. Yeah, you just gotta butter up all the characters. Now, let's go talk to these guys. Here we go.
It's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Feddick at your service once again. Now, before you say anything, I do recall that your business is private. But I saw your camp and couldn't help but stop. Is there anywhere safer to sleep? I think not. I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
What exactly are you selling anyway?
Anything, everything, but all of the finest quality. No cheap trinkets here. And my boy Sandal happens to be a bit of a hand with enchantments. Oh, yes. Sadly, it also makes us a target for bandits and the like. If there were spare hands to hire as guards, I would have done so long ago.
Well, you're free to stay, just mind yourselves.
Wonderful. Thank the kind lady, won't you, boy?
Thank you, kind lady.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they're right here. Let's talk to Sandal.
Hello.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
I want some enchanting done.
Enchantment!
So we do have... Oh yeah, we have this sword I need to look at. It's got a spot. The edge has 2 spots, and we have this guy here. What do I do? Go like this? Plus 2 damage? Let's see. This already does... Oh, I can't tell. I think we do it. Yeah, we've had this rune for a while. Let's just chuck it in there. Oh. Is it going to do that all the time? I think it is. All enchantable items in the party inventory, including those currently equipped, can be upgraded by an enchanter, so long as you also have runes available. Select the item, blah, blah, blah. Okay, alright. What do you have?
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me.
So what's your story?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Go on.
So, as I said, things were going well. But good things must come to an end. One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
What happened then?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tides. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Better to do something with them than leave them to rot.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
Fascinating story, thank you. Oh, let's go with number 3. You're quite lucky to have done so well.
I thank the stone every single day. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
Let me see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Yeah, there's a discount. Awesome. I was hoping for... No, that's mine. It's weird. I always look on this side for the things that I want to buy, but they're over here. I want armor for Leliana. Just basic... Oh, these are like exceptional things. Angled strikers? Spirit hands? There's a lot going on here. We also might want to pick up something for Morrigan. Blood Dragon plate boots. We have the Blood Dragon plate for the 38 strength. Nothing here. His stuff is way too good for my characters right now. Let's... Yeah, okay. 131 gold. Wow. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and talk to this guy. I'm pretty sure this is about paid DLC.
You're a hard woman to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levi Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the Coins? Levy the Trader?
I'm Callian. I've never heard of you.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
How did you know Duncan?
It's a bit of a tale, that is. But I'm the one who brought the Grey Wardens back to Ferelden. Well, I was one of the ones. There were a lot of us. Maker's breath, I'm a bit nervous. Honoured to be here, really.
Is this guy being honest? I have no idea. Go ahead and tell your tale.
After King Marek freed us from the Orlesians, the Grey Wardens begged the King's permission to come into Ferelden, some sort of internal business. Me and a mess of other Warden sympathisers spoke on behalf of your order. Tan Loghain was very much against letting Orlesian Wardens in the kingdom. But Marek, Andraste, bless him, was a fair-minded monarch and he let them in.
Go on.
So that's why I was there when the Wardens and their leader, Genevieve, presented herself to the King. The first Wardens in Ferelden in over a century. Proudest state of my life, that was. Duncan was a bit of a scamp back then. We were of an age and struck up a friendship. The King himself went with the Wardens on their mysterious business. When he returned, he rescinded King Ardlan's decree, and the Wardens came back to Ferelden for good.
That's an interesting story. Duncan was an easy man to like.
That he was.
What promise did Duncan make to you?
My family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlan banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
What happened?
Hard to say. After King Arlan died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. and our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
I'm surprised you kept your... Oh, let's go to number 3. So what favor did you ask of Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
Couldn't you just go on your own?
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Ireland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
Oh, interesting. We could get a base? How will reclaiming the peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
That's interesting, because it kind of gives a purpose to go there, right? You're in this thing where you're trying to get the treaties out to the dwarves and the elves and everybody else, but you're like, hey, it's just Alistair and Callian, and they don't know anything about the Grey Wardens. It would be a good idea to do this. What do you need from me?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it, at least?
Why didn't Duncan help you?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new wardens and meeting with good King Cailan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
Indeed. Your family's faith will be rewarded. I will help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Soldier's Peak. Levi offered to take you through the maze of tunnels that lead to the old Grey Warden base. You know what? There's a, I want the world map. Is this over here? Soldier's Peak. Is it around here? Oh, it's way over here. So maybe when we get closer to Denerim, we'll do that. I think this was, since I have the Ultimate Edition, this DLC is included. But I remember this guy, annoying guy, being here, and he's like, oh yeah, go do this cool thing, but you gotta pay $5, or whatever it was. Did we talk to everybody? I think we did. It might be time to go. Yeah, I think it's time to go. Let's get out of here. Maybe we keep Leliana off the team until we at least get her some armor. So let's take you.
Yes.
And you. And you.
Indeed.
And we'll use our dog whistle to bring Mangy in. Now, where do we go first? I think we want to go to Redcliffe. Soldier's Pass. Redcliffe.
Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something. I should probably have told you earlier.
What's on your mind?
Well, let's see. How do I tell you this? We're almost at Redcliffe. Did I say how I know Arl Eamon exactly?
No, you never did say.
I'm a bastard. My mother was a serving girl at Redcliffe Castle, and she died when I was born. Arl Eamon took me in and raised me before I was sent to the Chantry. The reason he did that was because, well, because my father was King Marek, which made Cailan my half-brother, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, oh, some things that I'd forgotten have suddenly become clear to me. Let's see. Doesn't that make you heir to the throne?
Maker's breath, I hope not. I don't think so. You don't think so, do you? I'm a bastard. And nobody even knows about me. I would have told you, but it never really meant anything to me. I was inconvenient, a possible threat to Kaylin's rule, and so they kept me secret. I'd never talked about it to anyone. Everyone who knew either resented me for it or they coddled me. Even Duncan kept me out of the fighting because of it. I didn't want you to know as long as possible. I'm sorry.
Does Loghain know?
Why wouldn't he? He was King Maric's best friend. I don't know if that means anything, though. I certainly never considered the idea that it might ever be important. Al-Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, despite all the problems it caused with the king so soon after the war. He loved her a great deal. Anyway, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as the Arl's bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
I wonder... I can't recall if we see the Arlessa in this game. What an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence. I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall, and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Owl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
You were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that, I don't know. All I know is that the Arl is a good man and well-loved by the people. He also was King Kaylin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. So there you have it. Now can we move on? And I'll just pretend you still think I'm some nobody who was too lucky to die with the rest of the Grey Wardens.
As you command, my prince.
Oh, lovely. I'm going to regret this. Somehow I just know it.
You gotta rib him a little bit. For as much as he talks, you just gotta give him some back in kind. Well, he approves a little bit. Now, let's look around. There's some death root. And this guy, Thomas.
I thought I saw travelers coming down the road, though I scarcely believed it. Have you come to help us?
What do you mean? Is there a problem?
So you don't know? Has nobody out there heard?
Is this... Hold on. Let's go with the first one. What are you talking about? Heard what?
We're under attack. Monsters come out of the castle every night and attack us until dawn. Everyone's been fighting and dying.
Apparently everyone seems to agree that a blight is the perfect time to start killing each other. Marvelous, really.
We've no army to defend us. No Arl and no king to send us help. So many are dead. And those left are terrified they're next.
No Arl? What happened to Al-Eamon? What is going on?
He's deathly ill. And we don't even know if he's still alive. We haven't heard from the castle in days. I should take you to Ban Tegan. He's all that's holding us together. He'll want to see you.
Ban Tegan, Al-Eamon's brother. He's here.
Yes. It's not far, if you'll come with me.
It's Thomas, yes? And who are these people with you? They are obviously not simple travelers.
No, my lord. They just arrived, and I thought you would want to see them.
Well done, Thomas. Greetings, friends. My name is Tegan, Ban of Rennsphere, brother to the Arl.
I remember you, Ban Tegan, though the last time we met, I was a lot younger and covered in mud.
Covered in mud? Alistair? It is you, isn't it? You're alive! This is wonderful news.
Still alive, yes. Though not for long if Ten Loghain has anything to say about it.
Indeed. Loghain would have us believe all Grey Wardens died along with my nephew, amongst other things.
No, not all of us died.
So you are a Grey Warden as well. A pleasure to meet you. I wish it were under better circumstances. You're here to see my brother. Unfortunately, that might be a problem. Eamon is gravely ill. No one has heard from the castle in days. No guards patrol the walls, and no one has responded to my shouts. The attack started a few nights ago. Evil things surged from the castle. We drove them back, but many perished during the assault.
What evil things are you talking about?
Some call them the Walking Dead, decomposing corpses returning to life with a hunger for human flesh. They hit again the next night. Each night they come with greater numbers. With Cailan dead and Loghain starting a war over the throne, no one responds to my urgent calls for help. I have a feeling tonight's assault will be the worst yet. Alistair, I hate to ask, but I desperately need the help of you and your friends.
It isn't just up to me. Though the Grey Wardens don't stand much chance against Loghain without Arl Eamon.
Yep, this is the path. We have to help.
There are no darkspawn here, and nothing to gain. It is a fool's errand.
Wrong, Sten. If there's a chance we can rescue the Arl, we have to try.
Perhaps.
How pointless to help these villagers fight an impossible battle. One would think we had enough to contend with elsewhere.
Thank you. Thank you. This means more to me than you can guess. Thomas, please tell Murdoch what transpired. Then return to your post.
Yes, my lord.
Now then, there is much to do before night falls. I put 2 men in charge of the defense outside. Murdoch, the village mayor, is outside the chantry. Sir Perth, one of Eamon's knights, is just up the cliff at the windmill, watching the castle. You may discuss with them the preparations for the coming battle.
I'm on my way.
Very well. Luck be with you, my friend.
So this guy was the one in the cutscene that was talking back to Turn Loghain. Oh, there's some books over here.
Let us pray. Blessed art thou who exists in the Maker's sight.
We get XP every time we do this. Founding of this chantry.
Blessed art thou who seeks his return. Blessed is the prophetess.
All right.
his
So much
sister,
talking.
sacrificed to the holy flame.
That's that. Let's look at the rest of the people in here.
Him of our confession.
Oh yeah, there's books everywhere.
I'm scared, Mother. When are the bad men coming?
Soon, darling.
Demonic possession.
Don't worry. Everything will be all right.
But I want to go home. Where's Father? Why can't we
Let's talk to some of these named people.
These are terrible times. Just terrible.
Indeed.
We must stay here and be brave.
Good day.
Can you do that?
Oh, I guess we have to go through the battle
Guess
first
so.
before anybody will do.
I'm so scared, Father. The blight comes again, and Ferelden is doomed. What are we to do? Sorry. Am I bothering you? I'll try to be more quiet.
Who are you?
My name's Caitlin, my lady. Pardon my manners, but you're an elf, aren't you? I mean, that is what you are, right?
Yes.
No, you're so pretty. I never thought. I mean, I never expected. Never mind. Are you going to help us? Everyone says we're going to die tonight.
I'll do my best.
I can't even sleep. I close my eyes, and I see my mother being carried off. What have we done that the Maker allows this to continue?
So you're worried about your mother?
I'm not worried about her. She's dead. I wish it wasn't so, but it is. It's my brother Bevin. He ran off, maybe tried to leave the village. I'm so scared those things got him.
Have you tried looking for him?
I went to our house. It's by the square. He wasn't there. I searched the rest of the village too. I called and I called, but he never answered. I wonder if he ran off into the woods. I'm so worried. Without me, he has nobody.
All right, I'll keep an eye out for him.
You will? Thank you so much. Please find him.
Let's get out of here. So we passed all the stuff, so let's go ahead.
Is this where humans keep all their wisdom?
You know, we don't have the men we need. And their numbers just keep growing each night.
Well, sure, they take the day.
Let's start at the top, because there is a guy at the top of the cliff. There's a bunch of stuff for us to go see and do. There's a little bit of death root. Don't really need that. Up there by the windmill, I think, is where we want to go. We'll go visit all these places.
Cage for 20 days.
It might have been closer to 30. I stopped counting after a while.
What did you do? I mean, 20 days is a long time to sit in one place and do nothing.
On good days, I posed riddles to the passers-by, offering them treasures in exchange for correct answers.
Really?
No.
Ah, too bad. That's got serious potential.
Alright, let's talk to this guy.
Greetings, Grey Warden. I am as relieved as Ban Tegan is to see you here. I must admit, I do not know how to address an elf in your position. I do not wish to be rude.
Call me Grey Warden. Let's see. Just call me Callian.
As you wish, and thank you kindly. I am Sir Perth, until recently in direct service of Arl Eamon of Redcliffe. For now my charge is defending the village from these evil assaults. Would that I had chosen not to seek out the urn of sacred ashes. Perhaps I would have fended off whatever evil befell the castle, or perhaps I would be dead. Ah well, with the Grey Warden aiding our defense, perhaps all is not lost.
You mentioned something about an urn?
When the Isle fell sick, we were at a loss. Nothing worked to cure him, and he just kept getting worse. Finally, our lesser Isolde came up with a plan. The Urn of Sacred Ashes is a legendary artifact said to hold great healing powers. If found, it might save him.
They say the followers of Andraste smuggled her ashes out of Tevinter and hid them in Ferelden. The urn's never been heard of since.
We knights volunteered to seek it out. Few of us have returned. Many are still out there, unaware of what is happening here.
Interesting. So the Arl's Knights aren't even in town to help because they're out looking for the urn. All right. Just what was the Arl sick with?
We were never certain. He thirsted for water and then grew weaker and weaker. He brought in a mage, but even that did nothing. The Arlessa believed he was cursed and that we needed the power of Andraste herself, or he would surely perish.
Now, I think the Arlessa is the same Arlessa that doesn't like Alistair. I suppose. Why did the Arlessa believe anyone could find the urn?
The Arl once employed a scholar, Brother Genetivi. He had proof the urn was in Ferelden, or so I was told.
So the knights left the castle defenseless?
Not at all. A great number of soldiers remained in Castle Redcliffe. I wonder if they perished there and were transformed into these things. The thought chills my blood.
Indeed. Carry on.
As you wish, Grey Warden. Make a watch over you.
Wait a second. We never got the quest.
What is it you need?
Is there anything I can do to help?
We have sufficient armor and weapons, but my knights are too few to stand against the monsters without assistance. Perhaps you could approach Mother Hannah in the Chantry for some holy protection against these evil creatures. Otherwise, I do not know what else you could provide beyond your own talents. We're as prepared for the onslaught as we could possibly be, all things considered.
I'll see what I can... is there anything else?
No, nothing comes to mind. If you have not spoken to the Mayor, Murdoch, you should. His militia is far more in need of aid than we are.
Carry on.
As you wish, Grey Warden. Make a watch over you.
What I think we'll do is wrap up here for today. It's been all talk and no action. That'll change. Oh, here we go. Leliana. No, she's not in the group. We'll deal with her later. In fact, maybe we'll keep Alistair in for sure with all this Redcliffe stuff. So maybe we'll bring Leliana in. Let's level up Alistair before we wrap up for the day. Give him some strength. We need that to get better. And... oh, I think we need taunt. Passive. I think we have to get taunt. And that's that. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.